May it please the court, my name is Rick Raley. I'm appearing today on behalf of the appellant to the state of Ohio and Lorain County, J.D. Tomlinson. And I'm asking that this court reverse the trial court's suppression order. This case involves a traffic stop, and I'll give a brief factual summary before we go into the substance of the argument. This was a traffic stop that occurred in Sheffield Township.
Fortunately enough, I stumbled across the 9th District Court of Appeals last fall, and they have a courtroom in a classroom program to come into Elyria High, use the Performing Arts Center to hold an actual session of an appeals court with 2 cases involved here based on some constitutional amendments we used in class. Well, there's 2 facets. There's one, we cover the Constitution of 1851 for Ohio, which establishes the district court, and the other one is we do a lot of the rights of the accused for the Bill of Rights amendments, and most of which applied in both cases today.
The court administrator is responsible for making sure that the judges have everything they need to be able to make decisions, from arranging oral argument locations to school visits like the one we just did. And as magistrate, I'm responsible for signing orders for the court, scheduling cases, making sure the parties know when their briefs are due, any procedural orders that come before the court. So the most important thing is a teacher who's interested, and Mr. Wallace was definitely interested in getting a visit set up. Once I know that a teacher's interested, then I look for a couple of cases that have issues that will be interesting to high school students and attorneys who are both available and willing to come and argue before a group of high school students. Usually the attorneys are terrific about that. If they don't have a conflict, they are excited to come and be able to participate in front of a group of students. And then it's just scheduling a date and a time and putting everything together in one place and preparing for what those arguments will be, getting materials to the teachers. And then after the arguments are done, making sure the students are able to ask questions, because that's really an important part of this, is that interaction between the students and the judges.
It was a pleasure to be here today, and I just loved seeing all the kids and their enthusiasm. We started this program probably around 22 years ago, and the whole reason we started it was just from the standpoint that we started learning that schools couldn't afford to bring their kids on field trips to the schools, to the courts anymore. So we wanted to make a way for kids to have more experience with the judicial system. And so we decided, well, rather than driving 500 kids to the courthouse, why don't the 3 judges and a couple staff members go to the school itself. So it was very well received. We had some great experiences with the kids and with the staff at the schools. Then when Magistrate Court Administrator Mike Walsh took over as our court administrator, he was a former professor at the University of Akron as well as law school, and he started having more of a curriculum developed so that the teachers could use the actual cases to study the Fourth Amendment, to study how the court system works, all those type of factors. So the teachers, some of them aren't able to do all that because it's a limited scope. The teachers are so limited in regard to what time periods they have to teach certain things. But the ones that want to can follow it from the start until the end and see our opinion when it comes out and discuss it from the beginning till the end and discuss the different concepts. I will say, though, probably the main reason we wanted to do this, though, was we just wanted to have a positive experience for the kids to interact with judges, on a personal level. Most kids and most adults, thank God, don't ever get in a courtroom because it's not always a good thing. It's usually a bad thing if you're in a courtroom, whether it's a criminal case or a civil case. It's not fun. And so it's just the type of thing that we wanted there to be good, positive interaction. And for the kids especially, not to just get their impression of a courtroom setting from what they've heard from friends or how judges act, or what they've heard around the community, or what they see on TV.
My thoughts on this is it was really definitely not what I think half of the junior class was expecting it to be. So it was really nice for us to see what Mr. Wallace talks about in his classroom come to life. I think one specific thing that really surprised me was how positive it was. It wasn't just people arguing back and forth. Everyone used a very polite tone with each other. So it was definitely a lot different than what I expected it to be, and that was a really fun thing that I learned today.
I think that It was just a really cool experience because I've never heard of something like this going on in a school, and just to see everything happening like right in front of you versus Wallace showing us a movie or seeing something about it in the newspaper. I think it's really cool to see it actually happen right in front of you in your school. I saw a lot of the amendments in there, like the first case with the lady being a juror and she felt that she was unfairly taken off of the jury. I think that it shows because a lot of racial things are going on in the media, especially today, and a lot back then too, and she felt that she was unfairly judged based on just what happened in her past and with her brother and everything. And I think that seeing that actually happen versus just hearing about it or seeing it just on a paper or something is very cool to see, and cool to see people go back and forth whether they think it's fair or unfair, whether it be a black or white person.
I think I learned the reality of court because you don't see it a lot, and not a lot of people are aware of like what actually happens in court and how it is besides TV shows or what we see. And we usually are we see court as like a joke, or it's like really aggressive, or it's like something that's not realistic. And like seeing it here, that it's just like a genuine just conversation trying to like cool down the opinions that they have is like nice to see that it's not actually as bad as people would think. I think all of the judges are very nice people, and you have to be very open-minded to have this type of job, and that shows a lot of character and like smart, like intelligence in this like type of force. So like, yeah.